I entered university in '87, and back then, I don't know what's happening now, but back then, very frequently used to have jam and hops. Jam and hops when bands come together. The forum was where there was a party scene, clubbing, I guess, in the university sense. So every event used to have a hop, okay, and Rag and Flag used to have a hop also. So I was not in the hall at that time, but one of my closest friends was. So he was like, no, you got to come in and see how these things are going and stuff like that. So we walked around, we went to all the halls, and some were a bit more welcoming, some were like top secret mission, Shears, Kenridge, cannot be seen and stuff like that. So I also met some of the people who were working on it. So it was very casual, fun and all that. So the next day we saw all the parades and everything, right? And then next year, the second year I joined Shears Hall. I moved into Shears Hall. So then I realized how big it was for them. My God, they planned 6 months in advance, torture all the architecture and engineering students and all that stuff. So I think I got a bit more juiced up because of that. And one of my friends was involved a lot more. Okay, so I think the rag part of it was big then. Was very big. They would spend a lot of money. The dancing choreography was a big deal and stuff like that. Everybody used to fight to be the last to present because the president will come. So when the president came, it's a big deal, right? Who is the last hall to present and stuff, to show and all that. And Shears won again when I was in year 2. In year 3, tada, Shears lost. And the guy who was leading it was a friend of mine, Mickey. And it was devastating. It's like somebody in their family died. So I went from like a casual observer to a bit more involved, and okay, I wasn't that swept away by it, but I could see, because you put in 6 months worth of work, you do feel a bit devastated, But I don't think we've been faulted because I think Yusof won, that year. Yusof or Temasek won, one of the new halls. They were very good. I mean, you're doing it for, people think that once you come into NUS, you live in this cocoon and you are quite self-absorbed. And I think this is one of the very public ways where university students actually give back to society. And I think giving back should carry more weight than dressing up and showing off, So I felt the emphasis that way was probably improved and better, So jam was bands performing. Hop was, basically dance. So jam and hop, So it'll start maybe at about 6 o'clock. The bands will play till about 9 o'clock, and then you'll get really mobile disco lights, the works. It's quite full on, lighting effects and all this and that, right? Pretty much like a club. It's done in the forum, and so every faculty used to have it. So you'll have arts fac, biz ed, and all that. So it was quite fun. And I'm not so sure we were that serious, I think there was still a bit more of a fun element to it. So you go out there. I mean, on that day, all places are covered by NUS students. So you run into friends, and then you end up sitting around chit-chatting, drink teh tarik. So the flag part of it suffers, So I think it was quite fun, quite fun, So
you noticed that in some years the Rag and Flag managed to go out to the city, to the procession.
Yep.
During your time, do you ever see that happening?
Yeah.
Oh.
It did. Yep.
So
yep.
all 4 years?
At least the final 2 years it did. Yeah. So I mean, it's a lot of effort, So I think and also what happens is that usually they have this component where if it's a dragon, the dragon will breathe fire or something like that, right? All that will be shown to the president, but it'll be static and, kind of tied to the whole thing. So it won't work. It'll just be a float going around.
Okay.
So all the moving parts only happens in NUS.
Okay.
Once it leaves, it's just a static display, But at least I think the fact that they got to do, and I think they got to show off is quite good.
The floats did travel off NUS?
Yep, they did.
Where did they travel? Do you know the
I'm sure, from what I know, at least to Holland, Clementi, and all that. All of these areas it did.
Okay,
Yeah. So, and I think it was quite a professional service because I think even the administration helped out. So the lorries they get, all of them are reliable people, stuff like that. Yeah.
Did the flaggers run along the lorries to collect, or?
No.
Okay.
There were people in the lorry screaming at everybody, running around and stuff like that. I would say I'll come back to the same thing about the fact that when you enter NUS, it's like you're lost. You're in this whole bubble. Nobody really knows what happens to you and stuff like that. So Rag and Flag was probably one of the more visible moments where we get out of university People see what you're doing. I mean, people are wondering what's happening and all that. So I think they kind of like get, oh, okay, this is what NUS students are doing and things like that. So I think maybe they don't really understand what's happening. But I think it was quite a good way for us to get out into the market. At least people know what's happening. And in terms of flag, I would say people were very forthcoming. I mean, just that we were, I think, not so on the ball. If you'd been on the ball, I think we'd have got a lot of money, But I think people were quite forthcoming and all that, And not like now. Back then, flag days were quite few and far between. Not like now, every week there's someone selling a flag, Yeah. So I think in that sense it was very good. So I think as a university, you do feel good about it, and then they tell you, look, we raised this much money. I think a lot of people just miss out on things like that, because if you just enter university, you spend 3-4 years here, and then you go off to the working world. What did you get out of it, really? Not much. You don't know much. I'll tell you honestly. You ask 9 out of 10 Singapore NUS students, they won't know the president is the chancellor. I don't think they'll know. I'll put good money on it. Wei Shan didn't know. I asked her. She, don't know. Because I think they already NUS is a bubble, and I think because of social media and digital media, you're more insular. You're more insulated than ever. People think you share, you don't. You actually just want to see the same of yourself. Right? So people don't take an active interest. Unfortunate.
So this moment when you're clearing out the archives, this was before you're hanging out with your friends?
Yeah. But they were older than me. They were all about a year or two older than me. I was here on scholarship, so I was the youngest of the group. And some of them already had brothers who had gone through NUS, who had lived through some of the turbulent times and things like that. So there are a lot of interesting war stories to share with us. So I was like kind of the late person joining in, and then I was catching up because I was looking at all this archive stuff and all that. So putting 2 and 2 together.
So this led up to you choosing the question. Maybe you could tell us, your friends who had these ideas as well. How did they support you? Did they end up becoming your lieutenant or part of the council?
Yeah, one of my very close friends, yeah, totally. I mean, there are quite a few people who bought into it and all that, so very supportive. But one of my friends stuck with me to the end, He's my FinSec. Very close friend of mine, and I would think that, it's no man can do what one man can dream, you need another man to help you achieve. So I think we had that kind of support, we did. There's a core group of us and all that. But I think what we learned from the entire experience is that it's the hardest thing is not having an idea. The hardest thing is actually building consensus. So the 3 of us may have a fantastic idea, but it's harder to convince the other 4. Right? And the thing is, how do you convince the other 4? It's not by sheer force, It's got to be soft sell and persuasion, right? And if only people come on board, then you realize, okay, we can get something done, So I think when we're young, we're just too idealistic and enthusiastic, just chong lah. Just chong lah, I think can, but I think we didn't expect that. If let's say you can rewind the clock and we get back to that point, we probably would have done a more, we are circumspect about it, right? So I think we've taken a more measured approach to go around gathering and getting feedback from the ground before we had done something like that. Because, not a tactic, but if you turn it into like the faculties versus the halls, maybe we would have had a chance. But I think we didn't, because the faculties were responsible, the halls were not at the time. But the faculties who couldn't be bothered, or they're like, I'm waiting for the next jam and hop, man.
Yeah. So I'm wondering, maybe for the next part, you could just tell us, or you could just take us through the whole incident that happened, how you got elected as president. Was this like your platform that you stood upon, like you announced it, and maybe the series of events that led to your to the vote of no confidence?
No, this was not the starting point. Looking back, like I said, there are many things you could have done differently and stuff like that. But I would say it's follies of youth and idealism, and I think it's fine, because what else are you going to do in university? I'd much rather you actually have something colorful like this happen to you and tell people about it than be someone who just turned up and studied for 3 or 4 years and did nothing else. You think you may have gotten a degree, but you didn't get an education, man. You didn't, You just got a degree, full stop. At least, jump into an issue, take sides, get something out of it. at least something, stand up for, active citizenry, right? If you don't get involved in it, why not, Yeah, so that's probably what happened to us, lah. I did consider that Rag and Flag was the only thing the NUS students were doing to raise money. So there was capacity to maybe do one more event or whatever and all that. And we tried doing something like that during 10th anniversary. We tried. So I always thought that there was a scope for another event, something else that we can do. So that is just for the event by itself. I think in terms of, going out with your friends and all to collect money or helping out, things like that, people do things not for the achievement, or people do things for each other, right? If I'm your friend and you say, hey, Anand, help me get this or whatever it is, I will go and do it for you because you're my friend, right? So you remember that the friendship part of it is probably what lingers on for most people. Oh, I remember I was collecting money with 3 other friends of mine, and I remember we stopped and, stuff like that. I still remember some of the jokes, some of the guys made and things like that. So, yeah, you remember that, you remember that. So, and I think there's no life lesson out of it, lah. The only life lesson was about the individual, lah, So, and, I've been in the working world now for 30 years or whatever and all that. Occasionally you do run into some NUS student, you're like, hey, Anand, it's you! Hey, it's you! And stuff like that, so...
Do you still hang out with any of the friends that you made during Rag Flag?
No. I think I hang out with my close school friends, secondary school, JC friends. As most people do, But I've kept in touch with the people from NUSSU. The president before me was Chan Siu Lun. We're friends, John Tess and all that. You keep in touch with some of the people and all that. And I met some of the people, I think maybe 2 years ago, when the Yale guys were in town to do the alumni thing. So they invited all the presidents back, So for students who are thinking about going into Students' Union or other faculties, go into Students' Union because you know why? The Students' Union presidents were right in the middle. The hall and faculty presidents on the side. So, so I met some of them and it was quite good. So, life goes on, everything's fine. The only thing is that people realize that, the firebrand character you were back then, how have you mellowed and how have you, turned that into something worthwhile and useful in the life that you have right now? Yeah.
Do you have any, any piece of advice or wisdom that you like to give to future, maybe Rag and Flag project directors or just regulars in general?
I don't think I'm in any position to give them advice, lah. I don't think so, because I think the agenda changes and competition back then, it win at all costs, probably it's now translated to the nicest selfie next to the float, so there'll always be some motivation to go beyond what is necessary. And I think you got to figure out your own personal responsibility in this issue. No one should be telling you. You guys are going to be voting adults soon, So if you can't figure out for yourself that what I'm doing is actually really uncool, who's going to tell you? Someone else telling you is not going to make it work, You're still going to hold on to your view anyway. You got to figure it out for yourself, So I hope everyone who's involved has a sense of personal responsibility, lah. From the person who goes out to collect money, so he's motivated to collect more money for the good cause, to the person who's actually putting his hours, building the float or whatever it is, As long as you have a sense of personal responsibility and collective responsibility, I think you should be fine. Maybe that was what was missing back then. Hopefully it is, either showing or, taking root now. It'd be great.
What is one thing that maybe from your Rag and Flag that you would like to see in this year's Rag and Flag?
The fact that the floats could get out was quite nice. If they could do that, that would be great. I don't know where you guys hold it now. Where do you hold it now?
We're holding it at Floating Platform this year at Marina Bay.
Oh, well done. Okay, that's not bad. I think the thing of it is that, I think it is a showcase of students, I guess, innovation, technology, at work for the float part of it. And I think the fact that you are consciously making an effort with the flag part of it. So I think more emphasis, publicity, prominence or something like this, overall is good for the university. You know what I mean? You know, so, and especially now that you got one more university coming, right? So I think you're going to have 5, 6 universities in Singapore. So I think, I'm not saying NUS is under any threat, but doesn't mean that you need to be lax also, you know. I think you need to focus on some of the things that define who you are. And I think in that sense, some of these things which have survived a lot of ups and downs, you know, people like me or whatever and all that, it can evolve, but it should be to some extent, you know, looked after and, you know, maybe taken to the next level, you know. So, yeah, so I mean, I hope that happens. Yep.
So could you say that you like to see Rag Flag continue to be, you know, carried outside school?
Yeah, for sure. I think the more people see something like that happening, I mean, because Singaporeans are programmed, right? I only see float Chingay. Any other time of the year, I don't see float. Right? So to see something like that is something. I mean, in the US, you have Macy's parade in November. You know, it's a big deal. Everybody comes out and stuff like that. We will never get that. Okay, the way things are going, maybe Pink Dot might do that, lah. You know, but that's a totally different agenda altogether. You know, but I think to see something like that happening, you know, and it's pretty good. You know what I mean? You know, so it's a good chance to show what we are, you know, capable of, creative-wise, you know, innovation-wise. At the same time, also in terms of our heart, you know, going out to the public to get money for, you know, people who we don't know. I remember my nephew told me that this businessman, you know, in a industrial estate, he had just come in, was hot or whatever, you know, saw them loitering and called them in, gave them drinks and all that. And then he lectured them for 1 hour about how today's youth are really quite useless. And my nephew was like, I just sat there, you know, uncle, and he just lectured us for 1 hour. At the end of 1 hour, he gave us $5,000. I was like, what? I said, it's worth the lecture, man.
While he was flagging.
Yeah, you know, so I think he just was taking it out on them that kids today don't understand the value of $1. That, no, they spend $20 on eggs Benedict. I mean, come on. I mean, I would argue about that too, you know. So when people don't appreciate the value of $1 and they go around knocking on doors to get money, how do they actually really know what it's worth, right? So, but after lecturing them, he gave them money, lah. It's not bad. That was quite nice. You know, so, yeah, you know, so I guess I won't hear anymore, lah. He graduated already. So I won't hear anything about it anymore. I don't think I've got anyone else in the pipeline, in the family, for another 3 years. Maybe I'll wait for 3 more years. And I'll find out from then, you know. But I think overall, get actively involved. I would tell kids, be an active citizen of NUS. Don't be a bookworm. Don't just be a bookworm, you know. Don't just come here thinking, I'm going to get a degree and I'm going to get a boyfriend and girlfriend and that's it. That's all there is to life. I think that is like the most pathetic student life form there is. You know, come involved, you know, get involved, get engaged in an issue, get involved in things. You know, at least there's a facet and, you know, dimension to your student life, as opposed to just that I turned up in school, you know. Yeah, I hope that's something that, you know, students take to heart, lah. Get involved. I mean, I'm glad you guys are doing things like this, you know. You should, you know, you should, because if not, how do you look back and say, I did something else, right, you know? So, yeah. That'll be my one advice. Get involved. Active citizenry. Students, get involved.
Maybe one other question would be, what would you like to see in future Rag Flag? What development?
I don't know. I think this is thinking too much into the crystal ball, and I'm not so sure that I am well equipped to handle something like this. The one thing I would say is, globally and nationally, we have a big problem with engineering. You know, engineers don't want to do engineering. Engineers who graduate don't want to do engineering professions. And if, let's say, the RAG part of it becomes a bit more of a showcase of engineering expertise in Singapore, or at least in NUS, that could be something. You know, hopefully, you know, maybe people are more inspired to stay in the industry, lah. Because I think we are bleeding engineers, you know, to property agents and banking. You know, so hopefully that is something I like to see, lah. So like they see this as a challenge and a platform, and they maybe even put it on their CV that I did a float and I did something amazing, you know, and that helps me, you know, do something better in the future or something like that. Maybe.
It's interesting that you care about engineers, considering that you're an art student and you work in the creative line.
No, I mean, I contribute actively to the economy, man, unlike you guys. You know? So, I mean, honestly speaking, without engineers, society cannot move forward. It cannot. You and I can think of an idea. Who's going to get it done? You need engineers to get it done. So we make fun of them, for their lack of social skills, for looking like dweebs and stuff like that. But unfortunately, we need them. And so we need to be nice to them at some point, right?
Yeah.
So maybe Rag and Flag, you can be nice to them.
Well, the actor will be very happy to say that he's an engineer.
Oh, is it? Well done. So I have a soft spot for engineers. Cool. Okay?
Yeah, I think this more or less concludes our interview.
Cool. I hope I answered all of it and you got enough